an end user working on an like verification of invoices, a process kind of thing, verification of invoices. Later on, I have worked there, and later on, I have moved to Capita as an consultant because they have trained me. Because I have end user experience, I moved to Capita. There, I have worked for a project, some food-based project company for about an year. Then later I have moved to Concentrix. In Concentrix, I have worked as an associate consultant on an Burpees Heats project, which is a plant-based company. Worked on an implementation project. Coming to the areas I worked on as an associate consultant, like I have started from the basic settings of global parameters, configuration of company code, and no chart of accounts and fiscal year end, all these things. And I have worked some areas of new GL concepts like parallel and foreign currency valuation. And coming to AP, like FB, ZP setup, and BRS, and DME files, and Dunning in AR, and some parts of asset accounting as well. I have worked on coming to my work, which I have previously.
How much is your total experience and how much is your end user experience?
Yes. Overall is 5.5 years. Relevant is 2 years, and the rest is as an end user.
So you work on SAP end user or the other ERP?
It was an SAP kind of thing. We
Okay.
had an for like.
So what was your role at the time of when you're working as accounts and finance as an end user? What was your role?
The verification of the invoices, seeing how much the quantity they have billed for and the amount they have billed for. We need to verify from which vendor has we received all the information in the invoice has been correct or not. We have to compare the details, so that before the posting the invoices, we have to verify the invoices, and we are if the quantity is matching with the price, and what has the quantity been billed and what they have received and what they have billed. All these things we have been verifying for the
It is
particular
for
market.
AP or for ARP you are saying?
AP.
Okay. So tell me one thing, what is the T code you are using? For
We were direct pushing into EFI kind of thing, FB60.
Okay. Do they are not following the PO process?
PO process,
Yeah,
there was an Miro, they were posting there was a different team because we have an if there is no PO, then we have been handling that. If there is a PO, then Miro team like Miro, they have been posting the invoices with the verification of all that.
Is for the so for FB60, I just ask you one more question on that reference from consultant point of view. Now I asked you in the end user point of view. I'm asking now on the consultant point of view. For that reference field, in some companies it is mandatory field. In some companies it is the optional field. So how this field will be, there are two options. If we enter the same invoice number, it will give the duplication error. Okay. And also, if we put it blank, it will give us the error that it is mandatory field. Okay. So how this field is, we can make it mandatory.
From the field status variant, we can control the fields if it's mandatory or not. Coming to the double check invoice, we have an vendor master data where we can click on double check invoice. So if you're ever entering the same information for the same invoices, for the same amount and all the details, it will show you as a duplicate. And the fields is controlled from the field status variant, based on which we have given in GL master data. Field status group, we have to assign that. Based on that, in field status, I think OB29, we have to go check if the field status variant whether can suppress that or make it mandatory or optional.
But how this field status will getting included for this, because this is the we are entering on the FB60, correct? Here there is no GL involved. So how it is linked to the GL?
Status variant we have given in field status group. Based on that, we can go check there.
But we are entering the information for vendor, not here. We are entering the information for the vendor.
Okay. So if it's a vendor, then it has to be in at the time of vendor master data creation, we have group created for vendors, whether it's a domestic vendor or international vendor. There and at that level, we can go check the vendor master related to that. No. The vendor that fields control the vendor master data. I think it has to be in a field status variant. because that
Okay,
vendor that.
but I'm saying I'm asking you for the reference. If it is in the field status group, it will be assigned for the GL. But I'm asking for
Okay,
vendor.
okay, okay, okay. I got that. Sorry, I was confused. That has to be done in document types. We'll have reference and document text two fields. Which document type? If it's SA for GL and if you are a vendor KR for vendor invoice, KR, okay, KR for vendor invoice. At that level in the OBA 70 code, we have that two fields, reference and another one document text field. That's from there you can make it mandatory or optional. If you check that box, it is mandatory. If you remove that, it's optional.
What are your strong areas?
Uh, like AP and NewGL configuration basic settings along with the basic settings to I have configured and this most primarily AP I have my strong area as well, like NewGL concepts and when
So in new GL configuration, there is one checkbox of inheritance. What is the significance of that inheritance?
inheritance.
Yes, there is one checkbox in configuration of the new GL.
uh, Like it's particular for like a parallel ledger or document splitting. You want this one?
It's for document setting.
I think inheritance. If it is in the activate document splitting, if for the inheritance, then is that but in document splitting, we have seen the activate document splitting at document splitting level and the company code level, but inheritance, I am not sure of.
Okay. Tell me one thing. You
Yeah.
said this document setting is company code level and what you another level you said?
Uh, we have to at the when you go to activate document splitting on the top you have document splitting tick mark. From then if you click the remove that tick mark, it will be document splitting will be deactivated. It will not be active for all the company codes. But if you keep that tick mark open and at the second which is deactivate at the company code level, if you go in there and if you inactive the tick mark, it will be only applicable for that company code, which company code you have inactive. If you have another company code, then if you are creating a document splitting error will be there again. You have to come and particularly deactivate that company code for the inactive document splitting for that particular company codes.
So what about your work in the controlling area? Controlling.
Controlling, I am not, but primarily is FI, but controlling I have been part of this no, OKKP settings and some of the cost elements and OK B9 settings. These parts, yeah, and number ranges, this thing, K and K settings and
Okay. So about your this the controlling, do you know about the COPA and this product
no,
costing?
no, no coupon product cost. I did not get a chance
So
to.
you only aware about the basic controlling, correct?
Yes, yes, yes.
So have knowledge about S/4HANA?
No, I just have I know I have knowledge of the differences on S4 HANA like compared to ECC. I worked on ECC, but I have some of the differences in the areas where S4 HANA, what exactly the differences are in S4 HANA and ECC.
So what are the difference in the new GL? Like what are the changes happens in S/4HANA for new GL?
GL, there is no, I'm not sure of the exactly of the new GL concept, but in GL there is extension ledger in S4 HANA, like we have a parallel or non-leading ledger in a ECC, and we can maintain up to 10 currencies in S4 HANA when compared to GL, and we know the customer and vendor is maintained as a business partner, and there is no delta depreciation when compared to S4 HANA, and no this AFA depreciation run. There is no repeat restart these options in S4 HANA, and there is no closing of the financial year where doing ECC where AJRW or AJ, AB, where we close and open the fiscal year for the next year. And there is no these things in S4HANA, and there is no manual like we as we do in OKKP. We have to for the controlling area we have to assign the company code also. Then only FIMM, no FICO gets activated integration. There is no manually doing of this in S4HANA. But in ECC we have to manually do that in OKKP settings.
You said
This were some of the
AJRW. Oh, AJRW is not required in S4HANA for asset accounting?
No. I think there is no option. There is it will when we move the GL balances to next year, it will automatically close this year and move open it for the next financial year for the assets.
Okay. So what are the major changes in asset accounting in S4HANA?
So there is no delta. There is no delta depreciation required for the differences between the book and tax depreciation, and under this AJRW and AFAB, there is options. We have repeat, restart, and controlled and uncontrolled options. So there is no these options too in S4HANA. These have been removed. These were some of the changes which I know in S4HANA in asset accounting.
Okay, fine. And that's
So,
it from my side.
okay.
Do you have any question for me?
No.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.